And I remember telling my mom, I don't want to harm myself, but I just want to disappear. And I used to tell myself, my kids are better without me.
Welcome to Becoming Epic, the podcast for the ones who are counted out, the ones who've been knocked down more times than they can count, but still get back up one more time. This isn't for the perfect. This is for the underdogs, the misfits with big hearts, the ones chasing purpose, not permission. Here, we don't just talk about success. We talk about grit, discipline, heart. We talk about the courage it takes to rebuild yourself when no one is clapping. Because becoming epic, it's not a destination. It's a decision made daily. So if you're tired of the average, the excuses, the same old story, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Adam Berezowsky, and this is Becoming Epic. Let's wake the warrior in you, and let's fucking go. Welcome back to the Becoming Epic podcast. My name is Adam Berezowsky, and I am pumped because I missed last week, and I apologize. But we're back this week with an amazing episode. I always say I have my favorite person on every guest, so everybody feels like they're my favorite, even though everybody is my favorite. So this week I have an amazing guest. She has an amazing story. She came into my life in when did we just decide? 2012?
2013.
13. I just said that she's like the stray cat that I fed one time and never left, but it's been an amazing journey. So this is Dolores. What's your last name now?
Romo.
Okay. I don't know. Whichever one it goes by.
Romo.
She has an amazing story. So I'm going to kind of like let her introduce herself and we'll kind of run it from there.
Okay. Well, I'm Dolores. I have...
Hey.
I have 3 kids that pretty much grew up here at Epic. When I started, Josiah was going to turn 1, and he's 12 now.
That's crazy.
Pablo's 14. And
12 is what grade?
6.
Oh, my God.
And then Pablo's 14, and Jasmine's 19.
That is crazy. I think Jasmine was, how old was she?
Oh,
like 4, 5?
They're 7. It was like 7.
Jesus, that's wild. 19, out of high school.
Yeah.
That's a trip. Do you know how many kids I've seen like grown up and now like kids now have their own kids?
Oh, I bet.
It's so crazy. It's okay. All right. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay. Squirrel.
Yeah, totally. So just kind of let's start at the beginning. What makes you amazing? And
okay, so I started in 2013. My cousin Jessica Aguilar was coming here, and she's like, "You need to try this boot camp class." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "You're gonna have fun." Okay. First class, Friday, 5:30 a.m. at Cheer Force.
Oh, the good old days.
The crazy obstacle course.
Oh shit, that was your first class?
That was my first class.
Oh damn.
And halfway through, I threw up.
Yeah. Everybody would throw up those days.
I threw up and have been stuck with you since.
Yeah.
Or you've been stuck with me since.
Yeah, it works both ways. Yeah.
At the time, I had not worked out in, I don't even know how long. So I would ask my mom to come help me. And she would come 3 days a week. And she would come to my apartment and stay with the kids so I could go work out. Because when I was married, their dad would leave at 4:30 in the morning for work.
And he was doing what he's doing now?
No, he was working for a paint store, but he was delivering the paint, so he had to go early.
Makes sense.
So my mom's like, I remember what it was like when you guys were little.
Yeah.
So she would come get ready for work at my house, and then I would go home, get the kids ready, daycare, school, and then go to work.
Yeah, that's wild. And you were so young. I mean, because how old are you?
39.
39. Okay. So you're in your early 20s.
Yeah, late 20s.
Late 20s. Late 20s? Yeah, late 20s.
Yeah, because Josiah, I think it was like 28 when I had Josiah.
Wow.
Or 27. Something like, it was in my 20s.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And yeah, throughout these years, we've gone through some pretty insane times.
Yeah.
We've done some pretty cool shit. Spartan races, marathons. You're a New York
Marathon.
Experience A.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say that. Experience or whatever. What else have we done together? So much stuff.
the Spartan races, the New York Marathon,
Bunch of half marathons.
half marathons, training for the New
Yeah.
York Marathon. I told myself I wanted to do one Spartan race, and then I've done multiple.
It's usually how it happens.
Wasn't going to do the marathon, was going to go watch and support, got convinced to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just go to New York and watch a marathon. You have to.
That's true.
I mean, imagine if you actually did that and then like the FOMO you would have to then.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And then still to this day would be like, man, I should have ran that marathon.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't, but you did.
Oh, and then I did Ragnar with you guys.
Oh, yeah. We did
That was a
Ragnar.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely do that again.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a deep dive into you and what makes you epic. That's the whole theory of the show is,
Yes.
becoming epic. So recently, let's talk about your health. There's my lovely dog. Yeah. Like your health and some of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through.
Okay, so in 2013, I had Josiah. 6 weeks later, I lost my dad. And then after that, I remember always feeling really exhausted and tired. And I just was like, I have, 2 kids, 2 and under. I have a, toddler. I don't know if Jasmine would be a toddler, but she was in elementary school. Fast forward to 2015, 16, I started gaining weight. I was sleeping all the time. Everyone was like, "Are you sure you're not pregnant?" And I was like, "There's no way. Josiah is little. It's not possible." Then I was doing PT for my back, and I had asked the PT about some bumps in my neck. Thought I pulled a muscle at the batting cage with Jasmine. So then the physical therapist was like, "It's your thyroid, go get it checked out." Went to see a doctor someone had recommended, because I was in my 20s. I didn't know what a thyroid was.
Yeah.
I just was like, okay. And the blood work, he just said that they were not inflamed. They were like swollen. Thyroids were like swollen. And my antibodies were really high. So he was like, "I'll give you medicine to bring the antibodies down, and then we'll recheck them." And then they did an ultrasound, didn't see anything. So I was like, okay, I'll be fine. And then fast forward another year, I was tired. My menstrual cycle was messed up. I was noticing certain things I was eating was irritating my throat. And I was like, this is really, really weird. So I asked my doctor to do another ultrasound, blood work, and then asked them to recommend me to an endocrinologist. He then took a look at it and noticed the same thing. It was inflamed. I read my blood work, and he started me on a low dose of thyroid meds. He's like, "We'll check back with you in a couple, 6 months or so." I'm like, okay. Felt better, but I was still tired, still gaining weight. And I was like, this is really weird. Year goes by again, and he does a follow-up, and he notices nodules in my thyroid. Did a biopsy in the office. I already knew. I don't know why. They always say expect the worst, but hope for the best. So he came back, said it was thyroid cancer. And this was in 2016. And then had a total thyroidectomy, radiation, and then was healing. That was in 2017. 2018, cancer's there again, but this time it's in my clavicle, in the lymph nodes in my clavicle. I think they took out a total of 36 and 16 were cancerous. That one he sent me to UCLA for that one. And then same thing, surgery. I would have thought the incision hurt, but it wasn't the incision that hurt. It was like all this pressure in your chest. I remember coughing, and that was just, I had told my mom, I'm like, people that have a broken or fractured collarbone don't know how they do it. Because mine wasn't broken or fractured, but they dug all up in here. And I was like, I don't know.
Well, most of the time when people break bones, their body's in shock anyway. So it's like, You don't even feel it till the aftermath.
And
So I'm sure it's painful.
then didn't do radiation then. But my doctor always would have me do a small dose. That way, if anything was lingering, he could catch it, nip it in the butt. After those 2 surgeries, there was a lymph node on the left side. He didn't like it. He would do, he did an MRI, CAT scan, ultrasound with contrast, without contrast, numerous blood work. He wanted to cross-reference everything, sent me back to UCLA. UCLA was like, it's a healthy lymph node. My doctor is like, your cancer's all been on the left side. All the surgeries are on the left side. I'm going to send you to USC. If they say it's fine, we'll leave it. Went to USC. They read my big file.
Yeah.
And we scheduled surgery. They took it out, and it was cancerous.
Jesus.
But that surgery was a harder recovery because they couldn't go in the previous incision where the thyroids were. They had to go higher up in the neck. And when I woke up, the incision must have been 3 to 4 inches long, and I had a drainage tube.
Crazy. It's so funny. It's like most of like I lived this with you, but it's
Yeah.
like you don't realize the severity of it until like you replay the story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I woke up and I remember and then what made it worse was it was during COVID.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have anyone with me. I remember waking up crying because my neck felt like it was on fire, and they were like, don't touch it. You have a drainage tube. They had me on Norco and morphine, and I freaked out. I was like, I've never had morphine. They're like, you'll be fine.
That's the good stuff.
And when I didn't think I needed pain meds, they're like, 24 hours, they had it. 24 hours. I remember I was trying to eat, couldn't eat at the hospital, couldn't drink, didn't want to swallow the pills. I was like, can you guys just put it in my IV? This isn't happening. And then I remember that Monday was a holiday. So I had to go home with the drainage tube. So I had the drainage tube for like 4 days. And I had to empty it at home. And I was terrified it was going to fly out of my neck. I was like,
That's like, well, how do you live like that? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I know people do it, but it's like, I could not imagine like having something.
Yeah. I was like, how do I move? I'm like, I'm afraid it's going to rip out. And I remember when I went to my doctor to take it out, it was the weirdest feeling ever. It didn't hurt because I was still numb, but I didn't realize that when they had inserted it on this side, it actually came all the way across. So I felt like the vibration of them pulling it out.
Oh, God. That sounds glorious.
And so when I see the picture, and I took a picture when I was in the hospital of what it looked like after the surgery, high off the meds, because I was like, oh, I feel good now. I was like, oh my God. They like cut half into my neck. It was like, I was like, this is so weird. And like the first time they did the surgery, I was calm. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if it was because my grandma had it years ago. I must have been like 18 when she had it. My stepdad had his thyroids removed due to thyroid cancer years ago. So I was just like very calm and collected. Second time, I was nervous. I was having anxiety. They gave me something to calm me down. I kept thinking, like, what if I don't wake up? I have 3 kids. Like, what's going to happen? And then the third surgery was during the divorce. And so that's why I ran the New York Marathon, because I'm like, you know what? Might as well do it. And then I didn't know it was cancer. I didn't have the third surgery or have those tests done to tell me it was cancer until after the New York Marathon. But again, I started having the same side effects as the previous 2 times. I was tired, couldn't keep my eyes open. Certain things that had a lot of sodium irritated my throat. Like it's almost like I was allergic to it. And I was like, it's back. It's either back or it's just lingering and it's starting to grow or whatever the case may be. And so then now since those have happened, I have this fear. I don't want to say it's a fear, but I have this thought process where if it comes back a 4th or a 5th and it's not thyroid cancer and it, turns into a different type of cancer and they come back and they're like, well, you can't do this workout or you can't do this or you can't run. like, okay, well, I've done numerous Spartan races. I could say I ran a New York Marathon. I could say I did Ragnar because those were always things that I wanted to do, but I was terrified to do.
Yeah.
But come to Adam. He'd be like, I got you.
Drink the punch. This is what happens when you, I mean, but like, I do have to say, because like through this one challenge has not just been one challenge, it's been multiple instances of it. But like, you know, you have an internal strength that like most people wouldn't have typically going through something like this, because especially during your third time going through divorce, COVID, like, I don't know about you, but like, that's probably the time when most people have felt the most alone in their life.
Oh, yeah.
Like not even going through the things you have, but just in COVID in general.
Oh, yeah.
That like, you know, working out has given you at least a level of confidence knowing that like you could do something hard and overcome.
Yeah, a lot of people ask, like, how do you do it? And the honest answer is I don't know. I just remember the first surgery, the doctors did tell me your hormones are going to be out of whack. You're going to feel depressed. And I remember I was so depressed because I had always been like, before kids, I was always like 125 pounds, whatever the days. And then after kids, I always stuck like around 145. Well, after the first surgery, I went up to like 188. And I was like, there's
Were
no,
you really that?
I really was.
No
Yeah.
shit.
I was
couldn't even picture you like
so, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And I remember I hated leaving the room. I was sleeping all the time. I didn't want to go anywhere. Then I even called my doctor and I was like, I don't feel like myself. And so they changed the dosage of the thyroid meds. And I think within like 3 days, I felt a little better. I remember I went hiking to the cross. I took my kids plus my nephews at the time. And I was like, this is like a complete 360. But I remember my moods were up and down. I would like lose my shit with my kids. And then I'd start crying because I felt like this horrible person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this isn't me. And then I remember when I had to do the radiation, I had to like be segregated for like 7 days. So I was at my mom's. I was at my mom's house. And I remember Josiah was little. So they would come see me and I was like, you got to stay over there. And he'd be like, can I get this close? And he like, can I get this close? Can I get this close? I'm like, Josiah. And then the second time, I didn't have to do the radiation. UCLA was like, no, you're fine. We'll just watch it.
Yeah.
The third time, well, let me go back to UCLA. So with my blood work, it was showing I had Graves' disease and Hashimoto's. And they were trying to figure out why. And it got to the point where they were going back to the history from the very beginning, looking at my blood work, looking at my ultrasounds, looking at everything, where they asked if they could use me as a case study, which was kind of cool. Cause I'm like, sure, sign all these papers.
Yeah, totally. like you found all these issues wrong with me. Oh, sorry, Berkey.
Scared Berkey.
Yeah. Like you have all these issues, so might as well like use me as a test subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember I had to sign a bunch of papers, and then I remember later they had me participate in like it was almost like a book of information. So I remember weekly they would send me questions and I would fill them out with my honest answer. And it'd be like, if someone, had the same diagnosis of you, what could you tell them to make them feel better or process everything? And you would just write whatever you wanted. And then eventually they were going to put everyone's information, answers in a book.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, given the circumstances.
No, but I thought it was cool to participate in it.
For sure.
But yeah, they used me as a case study because they were just like, this is interesting. And I know UCLA is a really good teaching school for stuff like that.
For sure.
And then when I had the third surgery, I'm trying to remember what I was saying before I went back. But with the third one, the doctor at the hospital was in contact with UCLA, USC, and my endocrinologist. And because I had gone through this several times already, they wanted to like nip it in the butt. So when it came to that dose of radiation, they're like, it's going to be a higher dose. You're going to, you're still going to feel sick. You're going to, not be able to taste stuff for a little bit. I'm like, okay. Like, it's like, I don't know, maybe the 5th time I've done it. Each time it's been a different dose. I'm like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
That one was probably the worst side effects.
Mm.
I was nauseous. I was crying. My body ached so bad. It ached so bad that I didn't want to take the pain meds. So I was smoking weed. I was like, if I can smoke enough weed to settle my stomach, it'll help me relax.
Yeah.
And it did.
Well, and I remember like my grandfather had cancer when I was 17, 18, and they prescribed like it was some form of a THC. He wasn't smoking, but like that's what they used to do and use it for, like to calm cancer patients and things like that for pain management.
And I remember obviously when you're a kid, you're like, oh, I'm going to get high.
Yeah, totally.
And then I was very cautious because of the kids in the house, and I didn't want them to be like, oh, mom's smoking and this and that. And, their dad was like, your mom's doing it because she doesn't, she's hurting. And, he explained to them, obviously Jasmine's like, I already know. My boys were just like, oh, okay. Like they were just like, whatever. And I remember I couldn't, the same thing. I had to stay away from them for like 7 days. So I stayed in the room, but if they need anything, they would come knock on the door. I remember, I think the first day, Jordan asked what we wanted. So he brought us the junkyard.
Yeah,
so
nice.
he told them that he got food for my kids and I. Bill stopped by, dropped off some of his beef jerky.
Oh, that freaking man and his beef jerky. Lucky gal. Lucky gal.
His beef jerky was a hit here.
Oh my God. It still is. Every once in a while I'll come in and I'll have a bag on my desk, but it's been a while, Bill, if you're listening.
We need more, Bill.
We need more.
I know where you live. And then I remember one day I had pizza delivered. Didn't know who it was from. And it was from like Andrea Sam and some of the girls here. Sharice would bring me food. Like everyone here is such a family built that anything you need, they're like, call me, reach out.
Got you.
We haven't seen you in a while. Like, is everything okay? And so, it helped us at home because, their dad was working. I was at home. My kids are home because it's like COVID.
Yeah.
So they can't go to school. I remember my daughter's friend would come over and I would be like, hey, I'm going to order food. I'll buy you food. Can you guys go pick it up? Like, I can't drive to go get it.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. And I would tell them, just leave the food at the door.
Yeah. The COVID days.
The COVID day. Leave the food at the door.
Yeah.
COVID and the radiation. Yeah. And then after that, I remember going for follow-ups every 6 months. And my doctor kept saying, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. And I think it was last year he had finally said, he's like, I think we finally have it. He's like, I think we can finally say you're officially in remission. So every, and then of course, if I eat something and I feel off, I'm just like, is it back?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of like those things, it's like we go through these trauma experiences and then it's like the things that will like trigger those memories, the feelings, like, it's an awful feeling, but like the only thing that one can do is then just continue to drive forward because, I mean, getting the same cancer now 3 times and having the scars that you do on your neck, which are pretty badass, by the way. 'Cause you're like, that was from my prison days.
She's like, you should see the other girl.
Yeah, totally.
Especially with that third one.
Totally. But it's like you do have like, again, this like internal strength because not only you still had to be a mom, you had 2 out of the 3, you had to be a wife, right? And like you still took care of yourself through this whole thing, because even on the days that you post cancer or post surgery, you were still coming, you were still heavily involved in being active. And now was the marathon pre the second or post this?
It was pre the third. So the marathon was in November. They confirmed in December, and then I had the 3rd surgery in January.
Gotcha. Okay, that's right. Yeah. Because I mean, like again, I think if that didn't lead up to like one of the harder times, right?
Yeah.
Of like knowing that you can, go run 26 miles through the streets of New York City and then party afterwards.
Oh yeah. I
you know,
cried. I wanted to go back to the hotel, and then I think Sam called and she's like, we found a place with tacos and margaritas, and I was like, Mom, we're going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I do. I definitely remember that place. Yeah. Yeah. But then like, again, like, and I think this is a big thing that I always try to push, because it's like, you're going to go through hard things in your life no matter what. It's just a matter of how strong are you going to be going through those hard times.
Oh yeah. I could have given up multiple times. I don't know how many times I came in here crying.
Oh yeah.
During the divorce, didn't want to be home, but I didn't want to come to Epic. And, you would always be like, just cry it out on the floor.
Yeah.
We're going to hit shit, cry it out on the floor.
Yeah, every time. Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, you had the benefit because like this place has always been your place. Like it was never like, your husband or ex-husband at the time was involved, but like not to the point where you were. Right. And like, this has always been kind of your home.
Yeah.
So it's like having a support system like that outside of even just like your blood family. Cause I know your family's very close. Your cousins, your sister, your everybody.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Again, people are bringing you food. They're taking care of you, checking in on you, and like, and to have all that, it takes a special type of people to like go out of their way to help someone. But obviously that just shows your impact that you've made in their life. You've just name dropped, I don't know, half of my clients. And so for them to go out of the way to do that for you just shows how amazing you are.
Yeah.
Being able to go through a hard time like that and essentially alone, right? Because of the third time, the divorce. And that whole time from 2020 to end of like 23.
It's like all like just bunched up
mush
together.
Yeah. Because it's like we're trying to figure our life. I think you were in transition too of like jobs.
Yeah, I was working during the divorce. After the divorce was final, or during the divorce, I started working 2 jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm still working 2 jobs, but due to a broken wrist, I haven't been cleared to go back yet to the second job.
But again, like you're doing what you got to do, like in the sense of like chaos.
Yeah.
Right. Because like your kids are still well taken care of. You have great freaking kids. You're essentially, you have a built-in best friend with your daughter.
I call her my broke best friend.
Your broke
She's
best
my
friend.
broke best friend.
Yeah, well, hopefully she'll be your very, very wealthy best friend to then take care of you for the rest of your life, because I think that's every parent's dream. But it just like I do have to commend you on going through what you have. And this is just a small fraction of your story. I mean, you have a whole childhood and high school life and posts.
And in high school, I played soccer. So I was always very active. I even played soccer after I had the kids in an event through when I worked for Bank of America like years ago. Josiah was little at the time. And then
you used to work at Bank of America right over here. Crazy.
Long time ago. And then after that, and then after layoffs there, I was working at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Then layoffs there, was working for an engineer company. Now I'm at a different company.
No, but you're doing it. You're doing it right. So now like somebody going through this, so let's talk about like that little study. I mean, let's kind of pass on to the people out there going through it. Like what would you tell somebody that, essentially, because I know with thyroid cancer and thyroid issues specifically is a big thing. Quality of our food sucks. The health of society is just not that great. What helped you through a lot of?
I always try to think back on it because as you see, like I saw my grandma, my grandma didn't really talk about it. I was just more of like, Grandma, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. But my grandma's like always had a positive attitude on everything. So I was kind of like, okay, well, if my grandma can do it, then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like I had mentioned the third time, I was like freaking out. And I'm like, why am I freaking out here? And then it kind of got to the point where I'm like, okay, if worst case scenario happened, and something happened during surgery and I didn't make it. I'm like, okay, my kids are taken care of. Their dad's there. My family's here. His family's there. And like, I hated thinking that way, but it was the only way to like calm my nerves, because you always have those what ifs. Like, what about my kids? Who's going to take care of them?
Yeah.
And I remember one time the doctor, because people always say like, oh, if you have thyroid cancer, it's the good cancer. It's curable. Because I've had the doctors tell me, oh, you'll die of old age before you die of this. So in the very beginning, I remember I used to always say my cancer didn't matter. Because to me, I'm always like, well, there's worse ones out there. But people that have had kids that have had cancer, or they've had cancer, they passed away, they would get mad at me. They're like, every cancer matters.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. They're like, yes, it does. And I'm like, okay. And I think it's just because I was still able to, you know, be there for my kids, come work out here, do the crazy things you would say you're doing when I didn't want to do it. So I just always try to look at like, I've realized everyone's going to go down that road where it's like, I hate this. I'm severely depressed. But then you get to the point where you're just like, I hate feeling like this. I need to do something.
Yeah.
Because I hated feeling like that, but I knew I had to get back into a routine, whether it was coming here one day or going for a walk. And so like people, you know, I'm very open about my journey. So like I've had multiple people reach out to me on Facebook. I have a question. What were your symptoms? You know, what did you ask them to do? So now I'm like, okay, well, you know, ask them for an ultrasound. When you do your blood work, ask them for these blood tests. And then if they don't run those blood tests, ask them to run your antibodies. If your antibodies are high, then there's something there. And
Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard. Like it's, you know, going through it, you essentially become an expert, right? Because, like you understand the symptoms, you feel it. And a lot of, you know, I think where people's mentality goes, it's like any type of C word is like a death sentence, because that's inevitably what it used to be, right?
Yeah.
Modern medicine has changed. You know, cures, maybe not essentially cures, but like just things that we can do to either prevent or treat. You know, cancer is running rampant through my family right now. It's pretty wild. But I think like in the end, it's like your brain just always goes to the worst. So like no matter what type of cancer it is, right?
Yeah.
Because like a scraped knee and cancer, which one's worse?
Yeah.
Right. Like, come on, you know? So it's like with, you know, it's hard to not go to that place.
Yeah.
Right. Cause even though doctors will say, oh, it's the best type, it's the best type, it's the best type. But like, you know, if you catch breast cancer soon enough, it's the best type. If you catch colon cancer at the right time, it's the best type. So, you know, to me, it's really about mindset on the person.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you go down the rabbit hole, if it is your death sentence, it's going to inevitably be your death sentence.
Yeah. And I want to see, and I don't know how old I was in 2017. I think I was like 31 maybe.
Don't ask me.
I don't know.
My
I just
math skills
remember
are off.
I just remember it was my early 30s when I had the first surgery. Because after the second surgery, there was like and it happened to be every time it was around my birthday. So I didn't celebrate my birthday for like 2 years because I was always tired. And then I remember that I think it was like 2 years later or a year later, it was right when COVID happened. And I was like, I'm throwing a party. Whoever wants to come can come. I don't care, because it was the first time I didn't have to get diagnosed with thyroid cancer back to back again. And I remember my mom's like, are you sure you want to have the party? I said, Mom, everyone knows what they're signing up for.
Yeah.
I know, you know, people were upset. I'm like,
Wait,
well,
was that at your house?
that was at my house.
I was there. Yeah. Right. I think I was at your house.
You were there for, I don't know if you went for the birthday party, but you were there when we had the Friendsgiving.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them. One of the anti-COVID parties.
And, you know, I didn't, because I know, you know, some people were like upset, but for me, it was more of like, I'm celebrating my birthday at the same time. I'm celebrating that I wasn't diagnosed with cancer again, back to back. Yeah, I got diagnosed like 2 years later, but it was like that one time where I'm like, I didn't have to stress. I didn't have to worry. And I wanted to mainly celebrate that with everyone that I was always with.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we were doing trail runs and You know, it was like Narwan and Charisse and Eric and Roger and Alberto and Loca. And
Yeah. Keep naming them because
It
they're
was-
all out there. Now they're spread across the United States, unfortunately.
I know Alberto moved to like Timbuktu.
No, I know. Don't even get me started. All that Oklahoma weather. Yeah, it's wild.
And like I just remember having like even friends from that I kept in contact from elementary school showed up, and it was just everyone that helped me push through, you know, the surgeries, helped me train for the Spartan races. If I didn't want to run, we're gonna go. I remember Roger, we'd go run early in the morning. I hated it. I would freeze my ass off when I'd run with Charisse and Narwan and Alberto at like 4:45. It's like 38 degrees. I'm like, what are we doing outside? Like, who does this?
We do that. That is a necessity for what we do. That's like the basic criteria for being epic.
And then sometimes we weren't even training for a race. We're like, let's go run before class. Okay, fine, let's go.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Running with Bill was always fun.
Well, I always like Andrea brought it up on her episode where when we did the 20 miler from
Oh my
Ventura,
God, yes.
and his family was hanging out.
Camping and they were waiting for
Yeah.
us with snacks and tequila.
Snacks and tequila and whatever else. Yeah. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was pretty wild. Yeah, it's, you know, it just goes to show like you know, being in tune with your body is really important, right?
Mhm.
Like knowing like when you feel like shit, everything feels like shit, right? So it's like you don't know when things are like truly wrong
Yeah.
until it's almost too late. And I think like people that do work out and are understanding of their body when something's wrong, you don't just stop at like the first answer,
Yeah.
you know, which, you know, essentially you found, you know, what the problem was. And I think a lot of women specifically like go down the thyroid route, right? Because whether if it's hyperactive or inactive or it's or hormonal imbalancing, because that controls it all,
Oh yeah.
you know? And so, like, I think the importance of taking care of your body when it's inevitably not trying to kill you in a sense, because it really is like, we are put in our bodies to take care of it. So that way, because if we don't, what happens?
You get sick.
And we die, right?
Yeah.
But I think that that's a really good thing that you've done over the years, because I mean, since you came into my life, yeah, you've never left. Like it's always been consistent. I would say the one area that you've always been consistent in is exercising, right? Maybe the eating and, you know, has not been consistent
Yeah.
or whatever, but it's like you've always kind of just stayed on this path of activity,
Yeah.
right? And it's great leadership for your kids.
Yeah. You know, I try to bring Pablo, but you know, he's Mr. Too Cool. I'm in high school now.
Yeah, of course.
Try to
And he's a football player.
He's a
so
football player. My 14-year-old that's like almost 6 foot.
I know he's a beast. He's a
I
beast.
scold him and I tell him, let's go. And he doesn't even move. And I got like 2 arms.
Which is weird because like, I don't think your husband's that tall or your ex-husband's that tall.
No, he was like, I don't know, maybe 5'9".
So it must have been the milkman. You never know.
You never
We
know.
never know.
You're young. You never know.
You never know. But that's where it shows, right? Like it shows in like how your kids are living their life. I mean,
yeah.
Josiah, what is he? Is he into any sports or anything?
He's very good at sports. He loves playing soccer and football and basketball. We did have him in flag football one year and he just got way too nervous.
No.
So I say he's like my little bookworm. He loves learning.
Oh,
I can give him a book of 1,000,000 facts and he will read the whole thing. Like when we went to New York, he asked if we went to where the Twin Towers were. So like the whole tour that we did, I came back and he was like, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do? I was like, yeah. And at the time they were learning about it in school.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So he's like, you promised me you're going to take me 1 year. And I said, I will. So every time it comes up, you promised. I was like, I'll take you.
2026. We can do it.
And then Jasmine, she's just there.
She's finding her way.
She's finding her way. After she graduated, she wanted to do, you know, cosmetology school. But, you know, I feel like the years that she is not only her, it's kids around her age. I've realized they got robbed of like the end of their 8th grade and the beginning of their high school. And I always feel 8th to 9th, those are the years that you find your path, whether you're going to go right or left.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
for her, it really, I feel like after, 8th grade, ninth grade, I think they went back in the middle of ninth grade because I remember she was playing softball and they had to wear masks on the field. And
God, it made no sense.
I know. I know. I tell her yearbook is a history book because she's on the softball page with a big photo up to bat and she has a mask on. And I told her literally this is going to be a yearbook, history book, because they're going to be like, why'd you have a mask on playing softball? Well, it's COVID. Well, what was COVID? So yeah, I always tell her, I always feel like kids that were in the 8th to ninth grade during COVID, they never really got to live like the full 8th grade, full freshman year, like Pablo is. And so like Jasmine wanted to go to cosmetology school. She wanted to do makeup, eyelashes. So she's finding her way. Like she has her girlfriends, like, can you do my eyelashes? Can you do my makeup? And they'll pay her. And usually she's like, no, it's fine. So, they give her a little bit.
Yeah. Accept that money. You got to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, it's funny that you say that because like, like you say that they're learning about 9/11 in school and I was in school when 9/11 happened. Right. So it's like, I would never think that now that's in their history books, right? Which is crazy. And then they're kind of doing the same thing, like this generation of like, this will eventually be in the history books of like going to school with masks on, the online learning and how the world basically like just became so dependent on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, and that's really like my daughter's kind of like the end of that era, just because like by the time she was in school, she was in school. There was no online learning or portals or, hybrid anything. It was just in school. But you're right. They totally got robbed, and it's like, I can't imagine how long the kids that were in high school that lost their senior year, that lost prom, that didn't go make it through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I remember when she graduated, I don't remember specifically what the girl said at her graduation, but it made a whole lot of sense, pretty much saying that they had to start high school. They were the last class that started high school during COVID because like you said, the seniors missed out on their classes. And then when Jasmine became a freshman, it was COVID. So they didn't start high school, I guess, correctly.
Yeah, for
she
sure.
missed half of it. And so I don't remember what the girl said, but it made a lot of sense. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, it's pretty wild. Okay. So now what would you like? I'm trying to think of like some good prodding questions. Well, I think your story is great because again, like you just you didn't let cancer define you, like so many people are like, oh, well, I am a cancer survivor, right? Like, yes, you are, but you don't lead your life like that. I mean,
no. And a lot of people would be like, don't you get tired? Don't you get tired going? And I was like, I get tired. I cry all the time, but I was more tired.
Truth.
Feeling, I feel like now that the older I've gotten, the more sensitive I am. It's not fair.
Gentle flower. Yeah, for sure.
What is it? Someone's like, you're an emotional gangster. Yeah.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
I rather be more tired and crying because I'm tired than crying and being tired from being depressed.
Yeah.
And feeling really low and hating where I was at.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I work out so much or try to get back in the routine. Cause life happens and then you're like, I gotta go back.
Yeah.
And I know that's why I continue to work out because I never want to feel that again. I hated it. I cried that I felt that way. And I was like, no, I don't want to go back to that because I don't want to say it was a dark place, but it was a place I had never felt before and it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to do something.
Yeah. Well, that's darkness and it's scary as hell. Like, I mean, and it hits you in so many different ways too. Cause like, I'm sure that you've experienced it in other forms. Mm-hmm. You just now have a way to like, put it to like this scenario is like what put me into that place. But yeah, I think that's huge. So then like, what's next for you? Like cause like we've hit all these goals. Like what's next in your life to keep this, this journey rolling?
Well, I've done the trifectas. Well, I almost had a double, but I did one trifecta, numerous other ones. I did the Ragnar and the Marathon. I haven't done the rock and roll.
Okay.
So
San Diego, 2026.
I'm down.
Okay.
Don't know about a full marathon.
They have a half.
I'll do a half.
Yeah.
I can train with 2 jobs and a half.
Totally.
I don't just continue to come to Epic and make new friends here. Try to drag my kids in here
Yeah.
so they can come work out with me.
Well, I think it's just like, because like I've gone through it a couple of times where it's like, you've done all the things, right? And it's like, now what?
Yeah.
Like you kind of like lose your way. And I have to. To be honest with you, it's probably the reason why I started this podcast too, because it's like, I've done so many cool things like with my body and but it's like, I want to do something new that's a little bit more outside of a different comfort zone. Cause like running 40 miles is uncomfortable as shit.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, it's kind of my comfort zone now of like being that uncomfortable. So doing something like this a little bit different, and like, because I think that's where people get stuck in their journey. They're like, okay, I've done all this stuff. Like now what?
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't have like, sometimes a marathon to some is a one and doneer.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you have the right people with you, it makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's why I really, really enjoyed Ragnar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ragnar was super fun.
Team No Sleep for like 32 hours.
We're doing it again next year. So I think we already have our tickets. So make sure you put your name in there. Yeah. So like just leadership and getting your kids right.
Yeah. And I, going back to how I was in that dark place, I remember, when people were going through their journeys with the thyroid cancer, and I would tell them, if you feel like this, it's normal. Don't think something's wrong with you. Because when I was in that dark place, I remember I wanted to disappear. But I wanted to disappear in a sense because I wasn't myself. I didn't like how I had these horrible mood swings, and then I was crying because of the mood swings. And I remember telling my mom, I don't want to harm myself, but I just want to disappear. And I used to tell myself, my kids are better without me.
For sure.
But it was just like, I didn't feel like I was their mom at the time. So that's when, even when I wasn't able to work out, I was like, I'm going to go see what Adam's doing. And I know there's a lot of people that have come here with injuries that can't work out. So they're like, I just need to, I need to go to my second home. So I can't tell you how many times I came here. I'm like, I can't work out yet, but I'm just going to hang out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to see what everyone's doing. I'm going to stop by, I remember I had the goal after the second surgery, I'm going to do a trifecta. And I dragged Eric and Roger to train with me. Eric's like, what the fuck are you doing? Well, it's okay. I know you just joined Epic, but it's fine.
Yeah.
You're going to, and I remember the day I got the trifecta was actually the anniversary of my dad's passing. So it meant so much more. And that was a 24-hour trip to Laughlin.
Yeah.
With Roger.
Yeah.
So much fun. Good old Laughlin.
Good old Laughlin.
Roger and the road trips.
Yeah. It's thank you for being vulnerable, because like I think the level of stress that a parent goes through in general is hard.
Yeah.
And then put all this on top of that, and like to feel like you can't be who you need to be for the people who you care about the most in your life is like, it is hell.
Yeah.
It is hell.
I'm always, I always say, I'm always tired. I'm like, I just need to take a nap and I'll be fine.
Sometimes a nap fixes it. Yeah. There ain't no lie about that.
Yeah.
But then like, again, like there is that level of responsibility of like, we always say it's not about the setback, it's all about the comeback.
Yeah.
And, for the fact that like you were in such a dark place and had thoughts like that, and, think that you weren't capable of being a good mom, and, and at the time, single parent, still single parent. I think even if you were to start being in relationships and commitments, you're still a single parent because it's not their responsibility. It definitely, it hits home. I mean, I struggle a lot as a parent. My kid I love her to pieces, but fuck, they are your biggest challenge for sure.
Oh yeah.
But it's not even them, because they're going to test you in the ways that you need to grow.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the internal battles that they have that they know nothing about, because no matter when they see you, they might see you sick, ill,
Yeah.
but you're still their parent.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're going to do your best to hide, to make sure that they are comfortable knowing that you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah. And I would always tell them, I remember Josiah would be like, if you don't take your thyroid meds, can you die? I'm like, no. And I would explain to him the thyroid meds, it just gives me the, what did I tell him? I think I explained at the time when he was small, I told him it gives me the nutrients I need, that my thyroid, I don't have my thyroid. So I said the vitamins that my thyroid gives me, I don't have it anymore. So these are my vitamins. And he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pablo is the one that is my worrier. He asks all the time, can it come back? Can it come back? And I tell him it can come back. But if, I stay on top of it, I, make sure, like, I'm like, no, can you run this test? Can you check this? Are you sure? I was like, so they can nip it in the butt if it comes back again. I actually have a follow-up at the end of November, because I go, now it's once a year instead of every 6 months. But when I had gone, I had found out my doctor retired. And I remember I was in the waiting room emotional, because I had him from 2016 to 2025, like the beginning of 25. And now I'm like, okay, well, is this new person going to dot their I's, cross their T's, run all these tests? Because I used to tell them all the time, just run every test. I don't care if my insurance doesn't want to cover it, I'll cover it. Like, I don't care. Yeah. So I always tell people, if you're not sure with the first diagnosis, or you think something else is wrong, go get that second opinion, go get a third opinion. Just when it comes to something like that. Yeah. That way you have everything to cross-reference.
Well, not only that, you also like build a relationship going through something like that with like a sole person. Doesn't matter. I mean, a doctor or a therapist or whatever. Like, I had the greatest therapist growing up. And when he retired, it was like a swift kick in the face. Yeah. It's like, no other therapist is going to compare. I will never go back to therapy. And honestly, I've gone back, but like, I can't find a better person like that. And to go through what you did, and essentially he saved your life, right? Yeah. Like,
because he would not let that third one go. He's like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah. Just get the third, send you here. They say it's fine. It's fine. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then knowing the fact that like you have now decreased the amount of times you go every year to like once a year versus twice a year. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be some good feeling and comfort knowing that your body's.
Oh yeah. And it saves money in my pocket, because he eventually didn't take my insurance anymore. Oh. And so he's like, I can find you another doctor. I said, no, I will pay cash to see you. Wow. I don't care. I see you twice a year. At the time it was twice a year. I don't care.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to go. That's why I was like, tired.
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, I guess. Like,
I guess.
No, that's tough. But it's also, again, like you build this relationship with somebody and you build this comfort, and all of a sudden they're not there anymore. Yeah. Like doctors, if you're going to save lives, you can't retire. Yeah. That's just not how it works. Like, cool, good career, good pay. Doesn't mean you get to live the rest of your life like comfortable. Like, no, you saved my freaking life. Yeah. Well, that's, again, like, I think vulnerability is a huge strength. I think being open with your kids is huge. And like knowing, because like your kid's 12 is still young. Yeah. It's crazy that your youngest is 12. It is still mind-boggling.
The first surgery, he was in preschool. And I was like, don't make me yell, because if I yell, my neck's going to open. Yeah. They messaged me. I knew I became really well friends with that preschool teacher, and she told me, Josiah told me what you said. She's like, and I had to hold in my laughter, because it was like, my mom said if she yells, her neck's going to open and her guts are going to fall out.
Oh my God. Talk about scared straight. That will do it.
Well, I couldn't yell at the time.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Obviously, he turned out pretty good. Yeah. So he turned out pretty good.
I tell him he's my bookworm. Pablo is going to be my sports player. Yeah. And Jasmine's going to be the one to do all the makeup and
the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it. You should definitely push that.
Yeah.
I'm a big
That
fan
or
of-
a singer because she loves to sing.
Yeah. Well, you can still be an entrepreneur and still sing.
True.
You got to sell yourself. Just because you're the business
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. Well, I appreciate you a lot. Like your friendship, just your strength, your everything. We went through our divorces essentially together. What year was your divorce? 1, 2?
It started in 21.
Yeah.
It was finalized in 22. So it's been 3 years.
Yeah. Like all the countless runs, Sunday night, late night workouts we used to have here during COVID. When,
The Underground Railroad.
the gym was supposed to be closed. Actually, almost every day the gym was closed. I mean, that was a weird time for everybody. But
Yeah.
again, I think for as much as this place have had an impact on you, I think you're a pretty big impact in my life as well. Just because it's crazy. Like you come to a gym just expecting to like get a workout, and you then you end up with this huge family and this relationship with people that, you know, you don't realize. It's so funny. Some of like all these new members that are coming in and part of our ecosystem, it's like they have no freaking clue of like if these walls could talk.
Oh, yeah.
Like the things that have like we've all have overcome being here.
Yeah.
Makes it so special.
Yeah.
So special. So I appreciate you and thank you for
I know you've like lived my life with me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vice versa. I mean, I met a girl, got married, had a kid, got a divorce, moved into this building. I mean, you've been literally through it all with me.
You watched my kids grow up.
Yeah, I watched your kids grow up into their birthday parties.
Oh yeah, the birthday parties.
Yeah, I've been through it all. Andrea reminded me of that fun trail run when she had COVID.
Oh my God, yes. And I
Yeah.
remember telling Sam, what is Adam thinking? This is supposed to be a small, we went like the long route, ended up being like
10 miles.
10 miles.
Yeah, or something.
And I remember she messaged me like 2 days later and she ended up doing it with COVID.
Yeah, she had COVID the whole time. Yeah. That was like me, you.
You want someone to push you? Ask Adam.
Yeah, we'll do it with COVID or not.
Yeah.
We'll get her done. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Appreciate you too.
Telling your story is huge.
Yeah. I'm very open.
Yeah, you are.
With it. So if anyone ever asks questions or asks you, you could be like, talk to this person. And I know everyone's here is the same way when they've gone through certain things.
Yeah. Well, again, I think that's why I want to share people's stories, because it's like I think we all can like work together as a great family unit to support one another.
Yeah.
Through the life journey. You know, it's because yes, in the end, I want everybody to live an epic life, but it's like, what does that mean to them? And then like, how are they going to be supported through it all?
Yeah.
Right. Because imagine if you didn't have this ecosystem of a family going through what you went through, what that would be. It would look so different.
I think so because you have your family, you have your kids, and then you have like your friends outside of the gym.
Yeah.
But every time I had a surgery, every time I was going to be out, I had text messages. I had people asking, do you need this? Do you need that? Hey, are you home? I'm going to come on my lunch break. Do you want anything to eat? Do you want a visitor?
Yeah.
You know, and it just makes it that much, I don't want to say easier, but it makes it in a sense where you don't fall back into that depressed state.
Yeah. Well, because you've always come out of it. You've always picked yourself back up and got right back on the horse. It's not a matter of like you're starting over. You just you hit pause for a little bit, and it wasn't even a little bit. It was like a week or two. Like you had surgery, and like you were back with your stitches and your sutures on your neck and everything else. I'm like, all right, let's run it.
Because I remember the second time the doctor was like, "Well, if you feel up to it," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, let's run it.
I'm like, okay, let's do it. I just had to be very careful and mindful. Of course, listen to your body.
Yeah.
I remember doing physical therapy and they said, you can work out, just be mindful. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be mindful.
Oh, God. There you go. Making a grand exit. It's been incredible. It's incredible to watch. I appreciate you. So if y'all are feeling something, listen to your body, you know, if something's not right, pay attention to it. So funny, like exercising all the time. It's like you're always in pain.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes you're like, all right,
what is this?
What is this pain? So make sure you go get those yearly checkups. It is really important. Yeah. And then, obviously I'm sure she's open to reaching out to anybody who, has questions or is currently going through it or family going through it. And you'll lend an open ear, open mind, open everything.
Because the first question people ask is, what were your side effects? And I know side effects are different for everybody.
Yeah.
But I just tell them, this is what mine were. And if they get their blood work done, and, when they first did my blood work, they're like, oh, well, your thyroid levels are normal. But I had a friend that was like, check, it was like the T4 and T3. She's like, because my thyroid levels were normal, but the T4 and T3, and then those were showing off. And then plus my antibodies were always greater than 1,000. There's no number after 1,000.
Interesting.
So now they're still high, but now they're like in the 300s after like almost 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. What a trip. This is why I love this industry. The body is like such an amazing science project.
Yeah.
Like it's so mind-boggling. I wish I was better at science. All right. We're just blabbing on now. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. I have some more great, amazing guests with some killer stories. Thank you again, Dolores.
You're welcome.
Has been a blessing, and we'll see you on the next one.
That's it for today's episode of Becoming Epic. If something stirred in you today, don't let it fade. Take one step, one rep, one bold move. You're not here to play small. You're here to rise, rebuild, and become who you were born to be. Remember, average is easy, epic is earned, and the only way out is through. I believe in you, but it's time you believe in you. Subscribe, share, join the movement, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, go be epic.